Many thanks for watching and welcome back to the marketplace. The Finance Ministry says it is prepared to re-engage banks over movement of state funds from private financial institutions to the Bank of Ghana. Government last month started migrating part of its accounts held at some commercial banks and hopes to complete the process by September this year. About 6 billion Ghana cedis could be moved to the Bank of Ghana by the end of the month when the process is completed. While some banks have called on government to halt the process because of anticipated toll on their operations, others are pushing for government to settle the about 10 billion cedi energy sector debts owed them before implementing the single treasury policy. Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwating, however, says abolishing the policy is not an option due to its impact on government's expenditure and the cost of credit in the country. So we'll bring you this interview with Kweku Kwating shortly. Let's move on. And Ghana Home Loans has disclosed its mainstream banking operations is set to begin in the last quarter of the year. The company, which has long been known to be the nation's leading mortgage financier, had earlier hinted of moving into commercial banking by mid-2017. In an interview with Joy Business, Chief Executive of the company, Dominic Edu, says plans are far advanced in achieving this feat before the close of the year.
Definitely in the last quarter of this year, we are going to be a bank.
Okay. And what steps are already in place to achieve this?
We've actually acquired the license already. We've got a full banking license. We've finished with all the requirements of Bank of Ghana, and all we're doing is just refining our products to enable us to get to the market before the end of this year.
Okay. So what exactly would you be doing this time differently from what Ghana Home Loans already does?
I think, as I mentioned in my presentation, we would like to be the foremost bank for wealth creation, using the mortgage as the anchor. So what we're trying to do is to enable people save to buy the mortgage, borrow to have a useful lifestyle, a very wealth creation philosophy, where if you need your pensions, we will administer them for them. If you need insurance, we'll provide you insurance policies. If you need remittances, so retail banking effectively. Yeah.
Now that mobile telecom sector can boast of almost 36 million subscribers and 6 international operators, is an industry that has been described by many as interesting due to the increasing marketing, promotions and services offered to subscribers in such a relatively small country like Ghana. Now, but all these developments have not translated into good profits for the operators, with some even struggling to stay in business. So what has caused this? Fuad Shalabi is a telecom analyst.
You have two options. You have either you merge or you die. But like you die slowly, because definitely you are not able to cope with the market dynamics. So merger is the better, because first you will preserve a lot of employment, so people will not be laid off. As well, subscriber perception for the market is that, like, yes, some international investors, they are still interested in the market, because as we know, the telecom sector is not as it used to be. So as well, to have the appetite of Orange to come to Ghana, that means there is something good that's happening. And for them, definitely they were not coming to take a small stake in the market. They will be coming and be number 2. So I think this is something dynamic for the market.
Let's look at Orange and looking at the stage of Orange. I mean, are we really going to feel the benefits that comes with its status as a telecom operator when they enter this market?
Let me tell you something. Because of the dominance of MTN, the impact will not be immediate. But after the merger and the presence of Vodafone, Orange, MTN, we see that, like, we have international player in the market. And I'm sure that Orange, they have done their exercise and they have studied the market, because they know they are coming to a market which is dominant by international players, especially MTN dominant in the African market. So this is why we didn't see the Vodafone effect when they came the way we expected, because an international group brand as Vodafone, people expectation about their penetration into the market, but they faces some challenges, and now I think maybe it is becoming better and everything. Yes, Orange will make as well. The beautiful things about all what is happening is that the expectation or what the customer will get benefit from the existing operator. This is why we say always competition make everybody stand on his toes, because now MTN has to as well come with something in order to prevent subscribers to move to Orange. And we know that Orange is an international brand, vibrant, and it has been there for a long. That was like everybody's dream before, Orange as a brand. And I think they have a lot to do, the brand association with the youth, with the music and all other things, which is, I think, in Ghana market, this is something that is needed.
Moving on, Minister for Business Development Mohammed Awal has reiterated government's commitment to ensuring a favorable economic business environment. According to him, the introduction of many policies measures by government within the last 6 months is an indication of fulfilling this promise. There's more in this report.
Minister for Business Development Mohammed Awal argues the introduction of the various business-friendly policies by the government is an indication of its quest to improve the business environment for small and medium enterprises, SMEs. He made the remark in an interview with Joy Business at the sidelines of a special forum on media and business development in Ghana, organized by the Media Foundation for West Africa, MFWA. Mr. Awal urged the media to support the effort to market Ghana as the gateway to Africa.
Taxes have been abolished. Some have been cut. Energy is being stabilized. Inflation is reducing. It's now about 12.7% from about 15% in December. These are all policy initiatives by government to improve the business space and the macroeconomic stability. Government will continue to improve the macroeconomic stability for businesses to flourish. But I'm saying that media must help brand Ghana as a very stable country that is a business attraction, a business location, so that businesses can grow. Governments want the private sector to champion growth. We never continue to create a space private sector to grow. So we want to improve the macroeconomic environment and make sure that GDP last year was 3.2. This year we intend to bring GBC to over 6%. That's what I want to do. So the media must support to develop businesses and make the present vision of making Ghana business-friendly economy in Africa a reality.
On his part, Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Brahima, impressed on the media to use the favorable business environment to brand the country.
As a country, we are privileged to have an environment that is quite buoyant to be able to support the media businesses. If you go to countries like Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Gambia, the economies are so small, but yet you have so many media outlets that are also operating. So people would say, well, perhaps unlike Nigeria, but we still have an economy that is so strong to be able to support the media industry.
The event was also used to launch the Made in West Africa Media Excellence Conference and Awards coming up in October this year.
It's live on the marketplace. Let's now take a breather for an investment tip.
Investment Tips is brought to you by Daffing Finance, Deposits, Investments, Borrowings and Advisory.
What is the investment objective? This is the goal or reason for the investment. Have clearly defined goals. Growth of principal, aiming at growing or increasing the value of your initial investment. Income generating, aiming at providing periodic income.
So after that one, after that.
Capital preservation or security, aiming at protection against inflation or loss.
Investment Tips was brought to you by Daffing Finance, Deposits, Investments, Borrowings and Advisory.
Thank you very much for staying. Welcome back. Now, from next Monday, all exporters and importers who rely on GC Nets for their port transactions will be engaged on a single electronic platform. This is a pilot program to test the systems for the implementation of the national paperless operations, which is scheduled to begin on September 1 this year. Program officer at GC Net, Carl Saki, revealed this to Joy Business when the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism paid a courtesy call on the company in Accra. Ebenezer Sabute has been with the committee and is joining us live with some updates now. Ebenezer, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel.
All right, so why the need for this pilot program?
Okay, according to the GCNet, this is part of processes to enhance the effectiveness of the paperless process. We all know that beginning September 1, we are going to do paperless transaction at the Tema port. Already there's pilot process going on at the Takoradi port. But this Monday, the Tema port will begin its pilot program to, help the agencies and the various companies that are operating at the port to equip themselves with the systems over there before the September 1 general paperless transaction begins. So it is just to help them get, information about the systems that are going to be used, and then they also equip themselves to the general paperless transaction, which will be coming September 1.
Right, so how long is this system, or is this pilot taking?
When I engaged the program officer, which is Kawasaki, he was of the view that this pilot program will be going on till the 1st September when the general transaction process will begin, so that it all go along. But some are also saying that the process will not be okay because some people need to sit down and then study the systems that are going to be brought to the port and then the machines that are going to be used. He told me that there are some tablets that are going to be given to the port officials, and some of these port officials will not be able to master its usage before the September 1 deadline. So after the pilot program for about 2 weeks, they may have to sit down again, get feedback from the people, re-engage them so that they can be able to ascertain whether they will be able to handle the machines or the systems before the September 1 deadline begins.
Now, what else has he been saying, especially with regards to perceived challenges of this new system?
We all know that there's infrastructure issues when it comes to electronic in Ghana. So one of the basic challenges, or the major challenge that they've mentioned, has to do with the infrastructure at the port, and then also the systems that we are going to deploy at the port. Not only that, but we as humans, our ability to adapt to change at a certain rate. And you all know that we've not been using this electronic system. This is the first time it's going to be introduced into the country. So there are, kind of these challenges that they are expecting, but they are very firm that we are going to overcome it. He also revealed that GCNet is investing about $6 million into systems and machines so that it can be able to implement this system at the port very well. Members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism were so far satisfied with the presentations and also urged the company to go on with the paperless system. You know what, when it comes to port operations, we cannot mention GCNet without West Blue. Issues of West Blue came out, but the chairman of the committee requested that they give some 5 minutes in-camera discussion so that they can be able to iron out those issues, since it has been a sensitive and legal issue between GCNet, West Blue, and then the government.
All right, so come 1st September, do we expect a complete replacement of the paper system by the paperless system?
Exactly so. Come 1st September, we are going to have paperless transaction at Tema Port. It is going to begin with a pilot process from Monday, 7th August. And I mean this very Monday. So if you have any transaction to do at the port, if you are expecting any goods from any country coming at Tema Port, be expecting that when you get to the Tema Port, you are not going to do human interaction. Everything is going to be done electronically. Paper is going to be reduced at the port.
All right, thank you very much, Ebenezer Sabute. Ebenezer Sabute bringing us updates on a pilot system of the paperless electronic transaction system, which will take effect on the 1st of September. Now, moving on the marketplace, government has assured it is working to boost its response systems to ensure that businesses that are due for a refund are paid swiftly under the new tax exemption policy. The new policy aimed at checking abuses and revenue losses requires that businesses make down payments of all tax obligations and subsequently apply for refunds. At the CEO breakfast meeting organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Director of the Finance Sector Division of the Ministry of Finance, Samson Aklego, explained the new policy is important in resettling the economy for successful business operations.
Yes, there are challenges, in which the ministry is aware of, but I think the response mechanism through the new policy regime has also been swift. As of June, the money that has been paid out as refunds is about 54 million. So this money, quite frankly, doesn't come to the ministry's escrowed and then it's paid back to the businesses. And I think that the real challenge for us is to see how we would work together to make it better. So I would conclude by just posing this simple question. I really think that the concern is that we have to create Ghana, we have to position Ghana as the most business-friendly environment in Africa. And we can do that. But this will be threatened if all of us take it for granted that those who abuse the tax exemptions regime should be protected because it will inconvenience the good people who pay the tax. The result of not curbing this behavior from the policy side is very clear. It's going to be high marginal tax rates. Government is going to impose more taxes, and those taxes will be paid by the good people.
On his part, Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, says government is keen on addressing concerns, hence the engagement with business owners.
Yeah, that people feel that it's unfair. For you to tell an investor that come in, you have exemptions. And then when they've come in and they've started their businesses, then you start holding back those exemptions. It's not fair to any business person, whether it's a foreign business or an indigenous business. So for us, it's important to have a dispassionate discussion about it. We want to know what they really think and explain to them. And I was pretty satisfied with the explanations given by the Ministry of Finance as to why they had to do this. Because, like you said, I think if my numbers stand to be corrected, but I think last year the budgeted amount of exemptions was about 800 million cedis. But at the end of the day, they realized that exemptions had built up to 2.4 billion cedis. That means there must have been abuses, significant abuses of the system. And they've discovered that truly, yes, there were serious abuses of the system. So this is the first step to try and check those abuses, such that those who legitimately deserve the exemptions do get them. And then those who take advantage of it without reason to are stopped. And so this is all part of a process of reforming the procedure of exemptions, giving exemptions, etc.
I'll go back to our earlier story where the Finance Ministry says it is prepared to re-engage banks over movement of state funds from private financial institutions to the Bank of Ghana. Government last month started migrating part of its accounts held at some commercial banks and hopes to complete the process by September this year. About 6 billion Ghana cedis would be moved to the Bank of Ghana by the end of next month when the process is completed. While some banks have called on government to halt the process because of the anticipated toll on their operations, others are pushing for government to settle the about 10 billion cedi energy sector debt owed them before implementing the single Treasury account policy. Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwating, however, says abolishing the policy is not an option due to its impact on government expenditure and cost of credit in the country.
Well, it is important that ultimately, it's important to understand that ultimately this would help the banks. The point is this: where government money sits in different places, so that even though government has surplus in some accounts, government is still compelled to borrow, and with it, the consequences of high interest payments. If government is able to bring all its money at one place and reduce the need to borrow when government has positive balances in other accounts, means that interest rates will come down because government's pressure to borrow would have been reduced, and then more people, more businesses, more individuals can now borrow. That would help the banks. So ultimately, it's a policy that would help the banks, and I'm confident that as we proceed with a single treasury account and we begin to feel the impact, the banks will know that this is a strategy that helps not just government, but the banks as well.
You're not going to stagger it because that's their call, their plea to you, stagger the process of moving the account.
We will continue to engage. You know, this single treasury account creation is not something we just thought of today or yesterday. The discussions have been ongoing for a long time. We will continue to engage so that in the end, we will have the benefits of a single treasury account, whilst at the same time ensuring that our banks are not hurt in ways they shouldn't be. By what we have done today, our investors would be assured again that this is an economy that you can relate to, because even where revenues do not come in as much as expected, the government and the leaders of economic management would respond in a way that will still keep our deficit targets and macroeconomic indicators in line. Now, that is positive signal, and I think it is good for business, because once we are able to keep our macroeconomic fundamentals right, then you can be sure that investors can plan, businesses can plan.
Let's now cross over to the Ashanti region, where there is mixed feeling among residents of communities in the Amansie West district of the region as the Joint Police and Military Task Force on Galamsey gets deployed. Now, while farmers are the hardest hit by the devastation caused by illegal miners, some small-scale mining operators are anxious and in a state of panic over the fate of their businesses. Prince Appiah travelled through some communities in one of the largest hubs of Galamsey and has come through with this report.
Financial institutions operating in the area say savings withdrawal has increased since government announced the deployment of the Anti-galamsey Police Military Task Force. General Manager of Adumbi Cooperative Union, Enoch Boache, says fear has gripped many of the company's clients.
There are going to be police and soldiers combined, and if you dare try to confront them, they will shoot you dead. So majority of the people who were in today's galamsey, some are even running away, and nobody will run away and leave his cash. So he will come and withdraw his money and leave. So it has increased our level of withdrawal per day. I'm yet to call for what has happened today, but I know it will increase as compared to yesterday's withdrawal. So withdrawal has been coming day in, day out, day in, day out. So for now we are trading cautiously. We are trading cautiously. Other than that, we will find ourselves wanting.
The Joint Military and Police Task Force is being deployed to Ashanti, Eastern and Western regions. It is to intensify the fight against the destruction of the environment, which has attracted concerns from many interest groups and individuals. Some Galamsey operators are, however, angry at the deployment, accusing government of being unfair to them.
And I'm here with power most of the region. For soldiers for Saka on the Bahakrano. I gotta stand, brother. If you like for
we are disappointed in the president. We are surprised he's employing this kind of tactics to address the issue. The military are here as if they are going to war. It is scary. What have we done to deserve this? We voted him into power. This is not fair.
No, person like president when you lance by Juma.
Farmers are the worst hit by the negative effect of galamsey activities, and they are excited about government measures to rescue them. A farmer cooperative union in Amansie West District, comprising of over 3,000 members, say it is prepared to support the military task force Pastor Thomas Opong is president.
I'm glad very much that military men were coming to our side. We shall help them, even their meals, everywhere they go. We can accompany them to the site. If they don't know any place, we can show them. We shall let our people to cook food for them. When the military men enter our area, I know that the galamsey men will stop what they are doing. So I'm very glad about that.
District Chief Executive William Bedia Kwasante says the clampdown will in the end benefit all Ghanaians, including even the miners themselves.
In fact, their effort is to complement what we've been doing here already, and it's been a hell for us. So we are very, very excited that they are coming to assist us. But I'm sure with their presence, those who are recalcitrant, they will even advise themselves before they come.
Prince Apia reporting.
We now bring you a repeat of the Joy business van when it's topped by Annie Safo's home. In her entrepreneurial quest, she is bent on making fruits more attractive with her fruit carving technique to promote a healthy lifestyle.
Shopping for fresh fruit has become routine for Annie Safo since she discovered how to carve them. Annie has studied biological science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, landed a job with a tech firm, then switched to become a biology teacher, and even tried her hand at the makeup business. But all this was not fulfilling for her.
I wanted something different and something new in the system, something challenging and something related to my course. So I decided to go into fruit and vegetable art, which is kind of very new. Probably I'm the only person doing it in Ghana at the moment.
So Annie's next task was to learn food carving techniques. She was lucky. A friend introduced her to a US-based chef who taught her a thing or two. Carving food is an art. For someone who never considered herself artistic, this was a tough challenge.
Even when I was in JSS, I was doing graphic design. I used to let someone draw for me and all that. I have never ever thought that I could actually do art or anything of that sort.
But Annie got a grip of it, and soon she was displaying her food art at social gatherings. People would invite her to just display her artwork. Then it dawned on her she could make food bouquets and market them as gifts. She called it Annie's Perfections.
So I have places I buy my fruits. I always want to know the source of the fruits, where it's coming from. I know that quite a lot of times people are like, oh, the fruits, they're not good. There's the way they harvest it or the way they cultivate it and all that. So I always have a source that I go to get my fruits, and I know that it's very good. So when I get the fruits, I have a fridge also dedicated for fruits, just fruits. I keep the fruits inside, and then when I have an order, preferably 4 days before the order is taken, I ask what the person wants written on the bouquet, if it is a bouquet. Then I carve it out. So the carving takes about 2 hours, depending on how lengthy the statement or whatever the person wants written on it is.
With the help of social media and by word of mouth, Annie's food bouquets are catching on, especially among people who are conscious about eating healthy.
I don't know how I'm even able to handle sometimes the pressures. So when it comes to occasions like Mother's Day and Father's Day, actually, so Father's Day I didn't even put on any platform that, do you want anything for your dad? I didn't, because the Mother's Day was so bad for me. It was just too much. Too many orders. So for like 2 days I had not slept. Yes.
Carving food, however, comes with its own challenges.
Most of the time I try to make sure that I get the freshest of the fruits that they have. Then I come and keep it in my fridge. But even that, after a while, some of them start going bad. Like grapes, though they'll be in the fridge, after about a week or so, they start discoloring or they start going bad. Apples also start becoming yellow. So when it happens like that, it's quite, though it is not spoiled, I'm not able to get the green part of it, so I always have to get new ones to replace it. And when it comes to the cutting, it takes some time. It's very challenging. The artwork is challenging, and I always have to make sure that I'm right on point, because if I make a mistake, then it means that the whole thing is going to go waste.
At the heart of all what Annie does is to ensure more people adopt a healthy eating lifestyle, and she's happy she's put her knowledge of biological science into good use.
And that's it for the marketplace for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do join again, same time tomorrow. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Biafi. Have a good afternoon.
Did you know, while Ghana has an estimated 13.1 million mobile money subscribers, Bank of Ghana statistics suggest just 4.9 million were active as of the end of 2015. Given that Ghana's total population is estimated at 27 million, this suggests that mobile money has achieved around 20% penetration.